We got some positive injury news around Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine coming up to you guys on today's edition of the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. Before the Bulls-Clippers game yesterday, Billy Donovan gave some recent reports around Lonzo Ball and how the rehab process is going. And then also Zach LaVine talked to the media yesterday, and he is actually ahead of schedule in his rehab process. Quick note, Bulls, they were battling with the Clippers all day yesterday, had the lead at halftime. Clippers blasted them in the third quarter. It was a tough loss for Chicago, but overall, the West Coast trip went great. Bulls went 3-1. Should have beat the Clippers yesterday, but obviously fell short. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and James Harden really took that game over in the fourth quarter. But overall, good kind of West Coast trip for the Bulls. Really got back on track. But I want to start off today's show with this. If you guys want Lonzo Ball to play in a Bulls uniform again, get the good vibes going. Just drop a like on today's video. Send Lonzo a message. If he comes across this video, show him the support, show him the loves from Bulls Nation, and drop a like on today's show. But let's dive into what Billy Donovan had to say before the game yesterday. People were asking him, hey, you got any updates around Lonzo Ball and his rehab process? And he said this. He said he has responded well. Some of the things that medical guys have shown me is he looks good moving. He has started sprinting and cutting. I'm just really happy for him personally, for his progress. He has worked hard to put himself in this position, and hopefully he can continue to progress. He says, I'm speaking more from my perspective, not even medically that he's going to need for his own well-being, getting accustomed to banging and hitting and defending and getting over screens and contact to the rim and getting off bodies, which is a good point from Billy Donovan there. Like, I think we always just think about during this rehab process with these guys, it's just like, oh, they just need to get medically cleared, and then you send them right back on the floor. No, I think especially Lonzo's case, we're going to see him going a lot of 3-on-3 live action, a lot of 5-on-5 live action, because he really just needs to get accustomed to not only just the speed of the NBA game, but the physicality of the NBA game. And this was pretty cool last night. Lonzo was actually on the bench for, I think, the first time all season. I don't remember him being on the bench early on in the season. So he was there in LA where he is actually doing his rehab process there. So it was pretty cool. All the Bulls guys were giving him love after the game. And it was just overall good vibes in the arena yesterday. Zach LaVine was also on the bench next to him. So having the whole Bulls team there was pretty cool to see. And obviously, wishing nothing but the best for Lonzo Ball. But this is a thought that we were actually talking about in the Chat Sports office before we hopped on today. And it's pretty interesting. I do think with Lonzo Ball's cap hit next season of $21.4 million, I think he could be a very attractive trade target for teams. Obviously, he is coming off injury. Yes, but, it's very easily to match that salary of $21 million, and he's got unreal upside to his game still. 6'6", can guard 1 through 3, a great playmaker, great in the transition part of the NBA game, and he was special for the Bulls the last time he was really playing real minutes. I mean, in the first 35 games of the year, the Bulls were number 1 in the Eastern Conference, and Lonzo Ball was just playing his ass off. I mean, we saw it also with the three-point shooting, man. That's the thing about Lonzo I love the most is because, his dad definitely put a target on his back in terms of just, guys wanting to hunt him out in the league with his dad saying he was better than Steph Curry in college and all that. And he came out and kind of had, obviously a janky jump shot and didn't shoot too well in his first couple years in the NBA. But to get it up to 42.3% in that 2021 season, I think it just speaks to his work ethic and just how he goes about his day-to-day life in the league. And I think he is the definition of a winning basketball player. Like, when I think of guys that just impact winning at the highest level, Lonzo Ball is at the top of my list. The ability to defend, the ability to get others involved. And, Lonzo, it doesn't matter if he's scoring 20 a game or if he's scoring 5 points a game. What does Lonzo care about? He cares about getting the win and playing winning basketball. And that's why the Bulls were so damn good that one year through the first 35 games. And he had DeMar DeRozan. People forget DeMar was averaging 28 a game on really incredible splits. DeMar was actually at the top of a lot of MVP conversations. Shocking enough that was only about 2.5 years ago or even 3 years at this time. But I want you guys to get involved on today's video. Give Lonzo Ball a 2K rating. As it stands right now, obviously, he hasn't played in a very long time, but scale it for me, 1 through 99. Get down in the comment section and give Lonzo Ball a 2K rating. Want to have fun here? I would go with an 83 overall for Lonzo Ball. You may be saying that's a little too high, and yes, I do understand that, but also Lonzo, one of the better 2K players we have seen in the NBA. Again, big size, can shoot the three-point ball, love playing with him on the video game as well. But I give Lonzo an 83 overall right now. Obviously, he's got some unreal potential. Maybe he can get that up. But coming up next, guys, Zach LaVine did talk to the media yesterday about how his rehab process is going, and it seems like he is ahead of schedule. We'll be diving into that report here in a second, but I got to tell you guys about my favorite sponsor here on the Bulls Report, and that is Factor Meals. If you guys head to factormeals.com/BullsChat50 and use code BullsChat50, you guys will get 50% off. What is Factor? It is 2-minute meals, and they're restaurant quality meals that are ready to heat and eat wherever or whenever whenever and wherever you are. Factor is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, premium options with no cooking required. Sign up and save. We've done the math. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. There's no prep, no mess meals. Factor meals are ready to heat and eat, so there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed. Head to factormeals.com/BullsChat50 and use code BullsChat50 to get 50% off. That's code BullsChat50 at factormeals.com/BullsChat50 to get 50% off. So Zach LaVine was talking to the media yesterday, and it seems like he is ahead of schedule. He actually gave great insight to this overall, what his injury was, because, when the Bulls put out their injury report and they tweet it all out, they just say it was a foot injury for Zach LaVine. Well, he went a little bit more in depth on that. This is what he had to say about his rehab process. He said, "I feel really good. I get the boot off soon." Obviously, really good news. "I've been able to get out here in Los Angeles, rehabbing, getting everything right. There's not a lot. I just have to wait, obviously, for the tendon to heal, and then it's a straightaway rehab. My legs feel strong, and my body feels good." And Zach LaVine, kind of joking here when I'm saying this, but get that trade value up. I love hearing positive injury reports around Zach LaVine because I do still think there's an incredible chance that the Bulls decide to trade him this summer, and maybe a team, here's a report that LaVine's kind of rehab is going very well, and they want to take a chance on him, and maybe he gets back to being his old self. But this was LaVine talking about the actual injury when it went down. He said, "It sucked, man. I was pretty much trying to figure out every way not to in terms of getting the surgery. You never want to have surgery, but I got to a conclusion, especially with what the doctor was telling me, that the pain level and this thing isn't going to heal on its own. It's a bone that was floating around." Pretty nasty to think about, but he carried on to say this. It's known as a non-union Jones fracture, which I was dealing with for a while. And once the doctor, I'm glad I was able to find him, told me you need to get this done sooner than later, it was good to know. And listen, guys, I do want to get to this point about just trading Zach LaVine this summer. His contract will make it difficult to trade him. There is no doubt about that. I mean, he's making $43 million next year, $46 the year after, and then damn near $49 million the following season. I don't know if a team's going to be willing to take on that contract. Obviously, it's going to be tough to match that deal as well. But the one team I keep getting back to, and Bleacher Report actually dropped this article, and we touched on it last week, Ben Simmons. And, the contracts match for both them to be able to get this done. Maybe it's a Zach LaVine for Ben Simmons trade and picks. I could so see the Bulls doing this move. Obviously, the Bulls haven't made a player trade in about 2.5 years now. But, could this be an option? Maybe the Brooklyn Nets are thinking, we got Bridges. We got a ton of young talent as well. Maybe getting that true 3-level score from the guard position could really, up our game and just up our overall team quality, there as a whole. In Brooklyn, on the Chicago side of things, draft picks would be the number one kind of enticing piece of this. If you could somehow get the Dallas Mavericks pick that was sent to Brooklyn for 2029 that is unprotected, I would definitely do this deal. But again, draft picks are going to be the main kind of asset that we could get back if I was going to perform a Zach LaVine trade. But let me know, guys. Predict it for me. Will the Bulls trade Zach LaVine this summer? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comment section. I'm still typing my N's for no on this one. I think it's incredibly unlikely just because of the track record that we have seen with this Bulls front office. But hey, if a Zach LaVine trade happens, we will be making a video and probably going live here on the channel. So hit that subscribe button. Lock us in as your go-to Bulls YouTube channel. Hopefully the Bulls can kind of get back in the win column next game following their tough loss to the Clippers last night. But see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Go Bulls.